Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So what I want to discuss a little bit today in this video, as you can see from the thumbnail, a very interesting subject to say the least. And this is a subject for me which will always be there in my mind when it really boils down to commissions trying to artificially make people remove their own voting power. It's just not working. And something that I've found is our validator base is mostly built from, like I've said many times, you know the story here, but if you don't, it's mostly built up from paper cut validators with 0% commissions that just do nothing. They're able to sit inside the active set because they provide nothing, and we have an environment that fosters that kind of behavior in. And the other part is mostly filled up with Luna based validators. Now, something I always pay attention to quite a lot is what is going on outside of our bubble. And I think this is one of those times when it's paid off for me, because with the DCM, a lot of work went into it. I get it. I was one of the advocates for it. The only difference was I didn't want to see 0% commission rates at all. Now, with the DCM, it's complex to say the least, and certain tweaks were made to punish a certain percent gauge of voting power, but past that it doesn't do anything, and we're seeing that up until this point. So I think we're realistically at a point where we should just remove it, and I'm going to be the guy to say it. I'm going to be the person to say we should just remove a DCM and we should reinforce minimum 5% commissions, and then think about introducing some kind of maximum reward cap like Polygon Network did. And yes, this is going to probably increase the chance of a Sybil attack, but honestly, we're already under a Sybil attack in my own mind, from my perspective. Some of you may not agree with this, but I definitely think this way with everything that's going on, even with some people saying, well, you know, those three nodes are three different. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I've listened to many different live streams. I go out, I do my own research on these things. I know that is definitely not the case because of what happened during the internal hack. So it's very interesting to say the least. So what I want you all to do is take a look at my screen here. As you can see, we are on classic governance, and what we're going to do is flick over to the mainnet being Luna. And as you can see, they are trying to enforce a minimum 5% global commission for validators. And this is really good. The reason why this is good, right, is because 0% commissions allow you to do nothing. You could literally just be a taxi service in real life, open up a validator, slap a 0% commission rate on, and you're getting voting power. Now, what I'm finding is a lot of these validators that have made their way up on 0% commission rates, as soon as it raises, as soon as it goes up, they lose that voting power. And they're very confused as to why this is happening. And the general idea is you don't actually have any real supporters because you're not really doing anything. And it's one of those situations where validating this blockchain is all about bringing stuff for this blockchain. And for example, we've brought so many different things over the years. I'm bringing Lunk Dash back. It's about a week away from relaunching. It's all of these different kind of things. If we had every single validator putting in the effort that we've put in here, with all of the different burn programs we've done, all of the different burn portals we've done, all of the different burns, my own YouTube burns, everything, right? If we had that same kind of energy and effort from each individual validator, this chain would be booming, and we wouldn't be sat in a time currently where everything's moving up, right? Random meme coins moving up 200, 300, 400%. Everything's moving up. Solana moving up. BNB is going up like crazy. You've got Bonk going up. You've got all these different coins going up, and we're just kind of tracking sideways, not really doing anything, which is okay. I get it, but we all want to see these big pumps, and I just don't think we're fostering in an environment. And as per my video earlier today, we're not fostering in an environment, and realistically, we are like a city without a dock, and we've got this car with spoilers, spinners, and all of these different like fancy looking bits, but ultimately the car engine's wrecked. We need all of these core upgrades. We need the NFT marketplace. We need the token factory. We need all of those things that I mentioned in that video earlier today, instead of just pressing ahead. And I think that with the text proposal 4803 over on the mainnet, it really goes to show that you just can't artificially inflate things. And what's happening with the DCM is, right, no one has any reason to delegate outside of the active set, because even if you've got a 0% commission rate outside of the active set, there's always 0% commission rates on the inside of the active set. And that more or less fosters in, once again, an environment where the active set doesn't really change unless you've got substantial backing externally, which is spooky to say the least if you have. Now, with the long pause, I know, with the DCM, like I said, I'm going to be the first person to advocate for removing it. I honestly believe it's time. It's done all it can do, and you're not helping things any better. In fact, all we're doing, right, is adding to the big validators' own wallets, because they're not selling that LUNC. They're probably just restaking it all, and they're just building up their voting power so they can get more from it overall. And at the end, they'll just pull it all out and eject at the last second once this chain's been pillaged and plundered for everything that it's got. And I just don't want to see that. What we need is an environment which makes validators fight to get into the active set. Really trying to go out there, build a next generational product that's really going to catch heads, you know, turn heads and get people delegating with them and really supporting these things. We're not seeing that because we've got, as much as I probably shouldn't point this out, but for example, we've got validators like KuCoin, we've got validators like SolidStake, nothing against them, but they are a auditing company. We need validators that are providing for this blockchain, and ultimately, we're not seeing that. The bite to crunch is their Astroport's not fixed. We don't have a token factory. We don't have an NFT marketplace. We don't have on-chain swaps. We don't have an on-chain DEX. We don't have all of the basic necessities, right, to even try to open up the floodgates. And this is kind of a little bit more on my previous video, right? People are trying to open up the floodgates, and I get it. People want to push the chain forward, but all they're doing is open up the floodgates for tons of third-party applications to come in and totally privatize different sectors that the chain's not even got to a point of generating itself and being able to actually privatize on its own assets as it should, right? Why should this blockchain put in all of the work to open up the floodgates for loads of third-party apps to just come in and privatize everything? So this chain doesn't even stand a chance. It's a question you need to start to ask yourself. And what do you want to see? Do you want to see an environment where everybody should just kind of get voting power for fun? Everybody should be treated equally. You shouldn't have to do any work, and you should get the same amount of attention for doing absolutely nothing, providing nothing other than sitting on Twitter bickering, than someone who's been here for a long time, provided a lot, done a lot of different things. And what do you guys want to see from all of this? Do you want to see validators coming into play that are bringing new products, bringing games, bringing dApps, bringing all sorts of different things where you're like, oh, wow, this is really cool. This is definitely going to start creating a use case for the LUNC coin. And I think that's got forgotten about because everybody's been brainwashed into the idea of, oh, you know, a third-party app's really good and stuff. No, it's just as good as an L1 blockchain with its own coin. In fact, they are L1 blockchains with their own coins, right? So LUNC is just a side asset, a side hustle. It's just as good as us being listed on a CEX at this point. We're way past that as a blockchain. Our market cap is far too high. But I thought this was definitely something we should pay attention to. The fact that what goes on over on the Luna chain in comparison to here makes me absolutely laugh, because they all shut down the paid per job, but they also just all voted to more or less introduce Luna burning into their paid per job system, where for every job that's created, it burns one Luna token. And the fact they approved that but shut this down, it's a really interesting situation. It's very interesting to see what goes on over on the mainnet. So click on the cog sometimes, go over there, have a look, see what's going on. But this is really an eye-opener for me, and it just goes to show we should definitely bring and foster in an environment again, which is very competitive, highly competitive. People have got to work, they've got to put a lot of energy in, and they've got to put the time and effort to get somewhere on this blockchain. It shouldn't be a free pass for everybody to just come in, rake up the funds and move off somewhere else. We've all been down this road before. We know how it ends. Guys, giveaway. I'm going to be removing it at the end of this month, so get involved now. It will be moving over to Discord very soon, so just try and get involved now. You might be able to scoop up some nice funds before we move it over to there. We have got our trading indicator. If you feel like getting involved with that, if you've got LUNC, you can delegate with us. You can access all areas with our Patreon. Today we've got 3 different calls. Each one of those calls are between 70% and 100% up currently as of the recording of this video. Guys, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.